We've taken very seriously our promise to save and invest for the future, even against the backdrop of our revenue challenges, and we have in the last 2 years added $500 million to our Sovereign Wealth Fund and $87 million to the excess crude account. This is the very opposite of the situation before now, when rising oil prices failed to translate to rising levels of savings and investment. Admittedly, the economy has proven to be the biggest challenge of all. But let me first express just how concerned we have been since this administration took office about the impact of the economic recession on our citizens. Through no fault of theirs, some companies shut down their operations. Others downsized, people lost jobs, and had to endure rising food prices. In some states, civil servants worked months on end without the guarantee of a salary, even as rents and school fees and other expenses continued to show up like clockwork. We have been extremely mindful of the many sacrifices that you've had to make over the last few years. And for this reason, this administration's work on the economic front has been targeted at a combination of short-term interventions to cushion the pain, as well as medium to long-term efforts aimed at rebuilding an economy that is no longer helplessly dependent on the price of crude oil. Those short-term interventions include putting together a series of bailout packages for our state governments to enable them bridge their salary shortfalls, an issue that the President has consistently expressed his concerns about. We also began the hard work of laying out a framework for our social intervention program, the most ambitious in the history of the country. One of the first tasks of the Cabinet and Economic Management team was to put together a strategic implementation plan for the 2016 budget, targeting initiatives that would create speedy yet lasting impact on the lives of Nigerians. Indeed, much of 2016 was spent clearing the mess we inherited and putting the building blocks together for the future of our dreams, laying a solid foundation for the kind of future that you deserve as citizens of Nigeria. In his budget presentation speech to the National Assembly last December, President Buhari outlined our economic agenda in detail and assured that 2017 would be the year in which you would begin to see tangible benefits of all the planning and preparation work. It is my pleasure to note that in the 5 months since he delivered that speech, we have seen tremendous progress, as promised. Take the example of our social investment program, which kicked off at the end of 2016. Its homegrown school feeding component is now feeding more than 1 million primary school children across 7 states and will be feeding 3 million by the end of the year. The N-Power, another component, has engaged 200,000 unemployed graduates, none of whom needed any connections to be selected. Beneficiaries are already telling the stories of how these initiatives have given them a fresh start in their lives. Microcredit to 1 million artisans, traders, market men and women has also begun, while conditional cash transfers, which will eventually reach 1 million of the poorest and most vulnerable households, has also begun. Roads and power projects are going on in every part of the country. In rail, we are making progress with our plans to attract hundreds of millions of dollars in investments to upgrade the existing 3,500 kilometers narrow gauge network. We have also, in 2017, flagged off construction work on the Lagos-Ibadan leg of our standard gauge network, and we are close to completing the first phase of Abuja's mass transit rail system.